far end to get us underway.
15.
Still pretty warm, even though we're moving towards late afternoon here in New York. Billie Jean King National Tennis Center.
Forehand of Medvedev was suspect. And he's lost to Yuri Lahechka in Cincinnati. Didn't hit it too well either in Canada against Davidovich Fokina. Backhand was better, but it wasn't its usual top tier.
Look at the quality of the Lajovic backhand.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look at those last two losses that Medvedev suffered against Lahechka and Davidovich Fokina. And for me, they actually play a similar brand of tennis. They both have fantastic movement. They've got good firepower. And neither of them were scared to mix it up and serve and volley, just like Lajovic has done there, and especially to the deuce court. If you remember in the final last year against Djokovic, Novak employed that tactic, especially on the deuce side, so well against Medvedev. So I was just about to ask you, I wonder how much he's going to serve and volley, Lee, and we've already got a little taste tester in the opening game.
Yes, and as you have already said, that his camp will look at those two results, won't they? Because, you know, Medvedev on a hard court this time of year, you're backing him 100% against Davidovich Fokina, with all due respect to the Spaniard, and probably the same against Lahechka, particularly given the Czech had been away for so long. He'd been suffering with a back injury, hadn't he? So Lajovic has got to be looking at those results and thinking, well, yeah, it's over best of 5, so it's a different story. It's on a major stage, so it makes it slightly more difficult, but...
I mean, you've got to be a bit of a salesman as a coach, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, there's always two ways of looking at things, and I think you've got to sell it hard to your player.
It's a good way of putting it. Is that one of the many hats a coach has to wear?
Yes. And communication is so vital.
15 all.
Probably any other summer, given the quality of the tennis that Medvedev normally produces on quickish hard courts. We'll be backing him all day long in this first round match against Lajovic. As you say, Lajovic much more comfortable and has had much better results on clay courts. He's had some really good wins on clay. But one or two question marks. Exactly where Medvedev is this summer.
He didn't serve well. And it's a loss against Lahechka. That first serve landed only 44% of the time. So we'll be keeping an eye on that number.
Medvedev. 1 game all, first set.
So good start in that respect, Lee. He made 4 out of 5 first serves. Won the 4 points when it went in.
34 years of age now, Lajovic. Born in Belgrade. He's been a part of a really great generation of players from Serbia.
15
I
all.
think fair to say, a little bit more reserved than some of the other guys. For me, he's more like a silent assassin. You know, Viktor Troitsky was always animated. I guess Filip Krajinovic wasn't too animated in the Lajovic fold.
Yeah, Krajinovic, of course, said goodbye to tennis just last week, didn't he? You were here for a fan week here at the US Open.
Yeah, that's right.
Played the qualies here, but didn't come through to make the main draw.
14-15.
Jenka Tipsarevic, always hot on his sleeve. That's the generation we're talking about. This I love. And he can do it well. Just the fadeaway volley, the stamp of the right foot as he makes contact with the ball. Just absorbing the pace.
Game Lajovic.
So pretty
Lajovic
smooth
leads 2 games to 1 for
on
set.
serve so far from both of them. Lajovic ahead 2-1. 2 titles on the CB for Dusan Lajovic. 2019, that was in Umag in Croatia. On the clay, his favoured surface, and another in Banja Luka 2023, not so long ago. That final that Robbie referred to as well in Monte Carlo. It was Fabio who got the better of him that day, wasn't it? An emotional day for the Italian, so close to Italy, of course, so close to Fabio's home, I believe, just over the border, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last for serve.
Yeah, a lot of players make that area their home. And it's not just because of the nice weather in Monte Carlo.
30 love.
Ball toss was awfully high and quite far left. He's gone old school with the V collar and a faux collar on the shirt.
40 love.
I do like the kit he wears. It's simply sophisticated.
Game Medvedev. 2 games all for set.
So the opening 4 games are split, and it gives us a chance to remind you to download the US Open app, and you can follow your favourite players there, track the scores and stats, watch match highlights, all the news on there. New this year, watch live 3D views of all the singles matches as well. That's available on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Love 15.
It's tough to defend against that kind of shot making. there was the early strike on the second serve. He was up on the baseline. He's going deeper for the first. I mean, he is so deep in the court here. He is almost returning from Brooklyn.
Last person.
Just stayed low on him. Court's playing medium fast, we understand. A little bit slower than Cincy. Is that what you're hearing, Robbie?
Yep.
They were quick in Cincinnati, weren't they? Some of the quickest that I've seen of late, certainly in the numbers we were getting. Daily court pace index numbers, as they're known.
Yeah, so it should be. Like you want to give guys who've got other skill sets a fair crack at it. The racket and string technology is so in favor of the baseliner. The one thing we can control is the court surface. Cool are those? I hope those are my size. I might nick those.
Custom made. Final major of the year. Oh, what a point. Brilliant stuff.
Advantage. Lajovic.
Oh, that was mesmerizing. Watching them change direction from the cross court to the down the line, and that's not an easy shot for a single-hander. Depth suffocating Medvedev.
Sort of point that will grow the confidence of Lajovic. 29 strokes. Just the drop shot, but again, another lovely backhand up the line. He makes that shot look easy, doesn't it? It's so natural for him. It doesn't feature in many conversations. It's something we discuss from time to time. The best one-handed backhands.
Yeah.
I don't hear his name mentioned too often, but it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's the S&V. Don't we love that?
Advantage.
He's done his homework together with his team. It's so difficult when the ball is dropping to get it past the net man. And when Dusan has got that close to the net, there's not a lot of space.
Juice.
Well, you can see what his intentions are. I mean, given where Medvedev is when he's making contact with that return, it's an obvious second shot, drop shot, just failing to execute at the moment with that play.
Advantage, Lajovic.
But there are clear signs that the Lajovic team put together a plan here this afternoon.
Juice.
Longest game so far, juice number 4.
Advantage, Lajovic.
It's good judgment that time, just letting that one drift long. Dusan's coach. This is a good level from Lajovic during these early stages. No wonder he's celebrating again. Tough service game. He's come through it. And no breaks as yet. 2-3. Oh, yes. Well, he is producing some beautiful tennis so far today.
15.
It's so tough to defend a down the line passing shot. Coming in cross court, you're opening up the angles. But the abbreviated swing, the timing has to be exquisite, and it was on a laundry line, that forehand.
Quickly spin through Medvedev's season, just to remind ourselves what he's achieved. Of course, he made the final down in Australia, another Grand Slam final to start his season. Almost came so close to getting it done against Jannik Sinner. Up 2-0 before that final slipped away, eventually losing 6-3 in the 5th.
30-15.
The final in Indian Wells, that's the first Masters 1000 tournament of the year, 9 of those through the calendar. Pretty good in Miami as well. That's the Masters event that follows the Californian Masters tournament. Made semis there. Round of 16 at Roland Garros. Back in the semis at Wimbledon. Beat Sinner there, who was under the weather that day, has to be said. Struggling physically, the Italian. Medvedev eventually losing to Alcaraz in 4 sets in the semis. And hasn't really got it going since. Played the Paris Olympics, lost to Felix Auger-Aliassime there. And here we go. Opportunity
30-40.
for the Serb. And you've got to say he's earned it. He's played some good ball so far.
And this is where the beauty of the scoring system comes into play. You've got to make these big points count. There's nothing you can do in that scenario. Always try to send the message to young players to practice their serves. It's the advice I give to their coaches. So when you're young, serve doesn't play a big part in the sport, but as you get to the higher level, it becomes the most important shot in the game. Sometimes you just have lazy technique as a junior, just because you're starting the point with it. You don't pay too much attention to it. It's all about ground strokes, but you get that good technique worked on and sorted early on in a young player's career. Man, it can serve them well when they get older.
Some good stuff from Medvedev under pressure.
Medvedev.
Played well
3 games all first set.
from when he was break point down. And I think we're going to get another look at the forehand pass from a few moments ago that Lajovic produced.
I don't think you were celebrating that one. You don't want to celebrate it when you've hit in the net.
That, of course, was the last point of the previous game. So 3-piece. It's been competitive so far, 26 minutes, good stuff.
Love 15.
As to be said, Lajovic has been struggling for wins of late as well. You look at his summer. Just the one match on grass, played Wimbledon and lost to Dimitrov in the first round, as you would probably expect. Just 3 victories between, well, since the grass season finished and this tournament. Played in Hamburg, that's an ATP 500 clay court tournament. Won a match there and won a couple of matches in Umag. That's another of the clay events during the summer. Lost to Massetti there. Oh, another fascinating exchange. Medvedev requesting some appreciation after that one. Working hard.
Yeah, this was a hard hat point. That's a beautiful slice. I mean, if he had pulled that off, that would have been naughty. Come on, let me hear it. Grinding out here. You guys are hard to please, man.
Oh, no way. That is exceptional. How good was this pickup? So casual as well.
Yeah, just make sure you got a soft place for your jaw to land when you see that. And that was right out the top drawer.
That was behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah. You've got to make sure that it hits the court first, then your racket.
Being mischievous there, Robbie, after recent events.
Always, always, Lee, you know me.
Juice.
He's got some good feel, hasn't he? Good hand skills, Lajovic. Impressed with how he's mixed things up so far. 6 out of 7 net points won by the Serb.
Advantage, Lajovic.
Working hard to stay with Medvedev because he's made a good start, but you've really got to dig in. Second half of the opening set is the very best players in the world.
Juice.
That is not coming back.
Advantage, Medvedev.
There's nothing wrong with that volley. It's got some good width, but you can't cover that. You've got to be leaning a little in the middle. He's going over the highest part of the net.
It's really good tennis. They really are treating us. I mean, it's not the first time he's been celebrating, and gives you an idea of how well he feels like he's playing so far.
Just quality ball striking. You talk about using the full dimensions of the court. Now, he's not sure where Medvedev's going to go here, so like a good striker taking a penalty hard down the middle. It's good clarity of thought there under pressure. There's no room for panic when you break point down.
It's been physical so far, isn't it? You can see just before the point started, Lajovic is trying to get the heart rate back down. Still warm as well. It can be misleading because they're playing in full shade now, but it's still pretty toasty out there. Just gone 4 p.m. local time. Oh, he's just nudged it long. And there's our first break of serve. It's gone the way of the number 5 seed and former champion, who takes control in game 7. He's up 4-3 with that break.
I know he's apologized for the slight miss it, but the fact that he was able to improvise, I'm going to give him a lot of credit for that. He was tucked up nicely, and instead of trying to come over the return, just went with the chip. probably his best chance of putting it anywhere in the court. And yes, there is a chance that you're going to slightly mishit it, but less so if you're taking a big cut at it. Great choice of shot, and you deserve to get lucky, I believe, when you make the right shot selection.
Time.
It's been forward on a less frequent basis. A mess of that backhand volley. He will be pleased with having made the breakthrough in the previous game. Continuing to produce the good stuff, Lajovic. Interested to see what the reaction might be, having lost serve and having played so well so far. Sometimes can be tough to make sure the belief levels stay where they should be.
That's such a good point. And that's why I think mental training is so important, because there's two ways of looking at how this opening set is unfolded. But if you're Lajovic, got to remind yourself how good you've been, right? Rather than harp on about the fact that you're a breakdown. Keep telling yourself how good you are. That you are going to turn things around.
30 all.
And as Novak said, the information that you feed your brain, it doesn't always work, but over in a longer period of time is better chance of good things happening when you do feed it the right information than when you don't.
Played well from love 30, but still work to do. Quite a difference between those two numbers so far, average service game durations.
Advantage, Medvedev.
Impressive number of first serves he's made so far. Number 5 seed, pretty much 80% have found the target.
That was his weakness against Lehechka and Cincinnati recently.
Why does that always happen to us, Robbie? We praise a specific element of a player's game, and then it falls apart.
Yeah, what happened to that good universal energy that we're sending them?
Gilles Savara. So what's he gone with, Robbie?
I think that's
the baseball cap?
The Islanders, is it? I think it was. I only got a half look at it there.
Advantage, Medvedev.
He's starting to get known for his headgear, isn't he, on tour? Gilles Savara, as well as his vast coaching knowledge, of course.
Actually, it might be the New York Rangers.
Juice.
Yes, it is. There you go, the New York Rangers. I mean, I needed to see the full logo. I needed all the help I could get. I wonder if that was the hat that he was wearing when Medvedev won here. Surely you've got to keep that symmetry going. Always likes to support a local team. Loves his headgear, does Gilles.
Let's dig through the archives, don't we? Back to his US Open victory.
Advantage, Medvedev.
It's the Florida Panthers were the Stanley Cup winners this year. I think it was their first Stanley Cup.
Juice.
And a shout out to one of our fellow broadcasters, Steve Goldstein, who covers the team, does some work here for us during the US Open. Does Goldie?
Advantage, Medvedev.
Always get my annual education about ice hockey from him. I'm sure he would have celebrated with the team. Medvedev would love to see the back of this game.
And he does. Bit of frustration from Lajovic after he missed that forehand.
Medvedev leads 5-3 first set.
Perhaps just starting to feel that this first set is slipping away, despite producing some very good tennis at times. Serb's coach, hugely experienced in the game.
Jose Perlas.
15.
Who's this for a list of players he's guided over the years? Carlos Moya, Albert Costa, Guillermo Correa, Nico Almagro, Juan Carlos Ferrero, Tipsarevic, you mentioned earlier, Robbie, Fabio Fognini.
Yeah, that's a proper stable of players. That's the serve, survey and volley. Saw how good the serve was, had time to get in.
Out. 30-15.
Caught him out with a slower delivery there. Just 87 miles an hour. 2 game points. Oh, no way. Goodness me. How has he produced
14-13.
that sort of quality from where he was on the court?
Oh, this is magnificently manufactured.
That's all you can do.
Juice.
It's allowed Medvedev to work his way back into this game. Chance of him breaking. And being able to wrap up this first set right here.
Passage Medvedev.
This has been a high level from both players, but in the important moments, this guy has just been able to wear down Dusan.
Impressive stuff from Daniil Medvedev, particularly towards the end of that first set. Just was able to raise his game a touch.
Love 50.
And then, after thinking things through, Daniil said to him, okay, Gilles, you believe in me that much. From here on in, whatever you tell me to do, I will do. Of course, things started to improve rapidly from then on in 2018. Won a couple of titles. In 2019, he tore the tour apart.
15-30.
Communication, such an important part of coaching. We've touched on it already. Knowing when to say something and knowing when to lay out. And of course, when he has walked off the court, when Daniil was venting,
Out. 40-30.
he says he does it for Medvedev, so he's got no one to vent at, and that he can focus only on himself and problem solving. Happened in Halle.
Second set.
I remember a couple of years ago.
It was a pretty sweet finish to his opening service game.
That was Kristina Mladenovic courtside, keeping an eye on this one.
Out. 15 all. That's 15.
Yes, the US Open adventure that you referred to, 2019, that was part of that incredible summer that Daniil experienced. On the back of 2 good tournaments in Canada and Cincinnati, coming into US Open, a final in Canada, and then he won Cincy. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
40-15.
Oh, some breathtaking combinations. That backhand down the line is forged in fire. And a bit of showmanship to round out the rally.
It's come through a fair few longer points in this match so far. Oh, and again, no way. Come on. He is enjoying himself inside the Louis Armstrong Stadium.
One game all, second set.
When you anticipate well, it is such a cheat code. That's exactly what he does with that volley. And then the moment he anticipates right, he's in charge. And he's feeling good about life.
He's done a lot of celebrating, hasn't he, today? Given he's just sat down, he's enjoying himself. I get the feeling that he wants to embrace the moment.
And you wonder if that just comes with maturity. And perhaps earlier on in your career, not embracing it enough.
Love 15.
You know, these are special times, playing on big courts, big crowds against big players. If you can't celebrate those moments, what can you celebrate?
Go back to the 2019 adventure. Eventually it was Nadal, of course, who stopped Medvedev in the final, but not before Medvedev had fought back from 2 sets to love down in that final. Force the fifth, 6-4 in the fifth.
Hey, forget about the final. Forget about the final. Before we get there, what about the third round here against Feli Lopez? One of the all-time great post-match interviews.
Yes, because we were laughing about this just outside the commentary booth, weren't we, just before we came in to do this match. We think it was on this court that infamous post-match interview where he took on the New York crowd and famously thanked them for, I suppose, the lack of support.
Yeah, rooting against him.
Yeah, and helping him get over the line, and what was it, how he was going to think of them when he went to sleep that night.
Yep. When I go to sleep, I want you to remember. You helped me win. Remember that. And then come on, bring it. Boo louder. I can't hear it. Then, of course, I think it was the next match, they gave him a pretty frosty reception against Dominic Kupfer, but in the finals against Nadal. Remember when he was 2 sets to love down and then he started to claw his way back into the match, how much respect they had for him. because he gave them a night that many of them wouldn't forget. Coming back from 2 sets to love down, taking it the distance. I'll never forget that return of serve he hit on set point to take us into a fifth. Nadal sliding it out wide, and he must have been almost on the side barrier when he hit that backhand return for a clean win. And Nadal snuck in with a serve and volley, and the place erupted. He's one of the real characters of the game.
Yeah, he embraced the pantomime villain role that year, didn't he? But turned the crowds around. I mean, it was remarkable in that respect. By the time he finished the final, he was a crowd favourite somehow. Not easy to do in New York.
Well, double faults in this set. That is number 4. Only 2 in the opening set, so already twice as many double faults in this set versus the first.
So a chance. This game has got a little bit scrappy for Medvedev. Lajovic break for the first time. He can indeed. Terrific effort. And a great response after that opening set slipped away.
First set, Medvedev.
Still causing problems. 2-1.
See how often the players use that finish up around their ear. Get that side spin. It's important to show good body language because your opponent's often looking down that other end of the court to try and get a read on you.
So with the break of serve, trailing by a set, but he's up 2-1. Probably feels like he deserves some sort of recognition on the scoreboard, given how he's played so far. It's a lovely volley. It really is, just taking all the pace off, keeping it low. A bit of side spin as well, so that ball dies when it hits the deck. How low over the net that was.
For the first time, I've seen him execute well at the net. Look at those numbers, 12 of 17 against one of the best passing shot players in the game.
Game, Lajovic.
It's just the sort of
Lajovic leads
game
3 games to 1 second sets.
you're hoping for when you've broken. Nice quick game, get the balls back down the far end. Bit of breathing space now for Lajovic. Chance to relax for a few moments. Just a reminder that you can head to usopen.org. That's the online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats, all the draws on there as well, the schedules, of course. That's the official tournament website. usopen.org. Still plenty of tennis left to enjoy today. A couple of good matches still to be played out on this court. Andreescu plays Paulini this evening, and Tommy Paul's in action.
15-all.
Alcaraz over on our Thrash Stadium tonight. Jesper Gula as well. As well as all the matches around the outside courts.
Out. 15-30.
Kiki Daniil sitting alongside her mum. Not sure what Medvedev is gesturing about. I don't know if he's again looking for more love after playing a good point. These are the kinds of situations when the frustration can kick in. The red mist descends. And Lajovic with a chance now to go up a double break. This could be huge. He's missed the chip wide. Just got to put it in play.
Bit to the merch store by the looks of things.
It's 144th edition of this event. And speaking of merch, here's a bit of a trivia question. The event started in 1881. Now, there was a clothing brand whose logo was 1881. Lee, don't know if you remember it, but I want to know who that is.
Breakpoint saved. Just clinging on here.
Do you know?
I remember it, but I don't know. But I do remember it.
Yeah. I want to say Connors wore it back in the day.
Advantage, Medvedev.
This is an important game. If he can just hold here and keep it tight, he'll trust himself to create opportunities to turn this second set around. But double break down 4-1 could be a different story. He does emerge unscathed that time.
Lajovic leads 3 games to 2.
And keeps it to a single break.
Last Dusan.
World number 66 in the rankings at the moment. Has been just outside the top 20. It's back in 2019 after that Masters final in Monte Carlo. Seriously high level tennis.
The two different sounds of the ball on his strings, with this one, the thud of the backhand cross court, and this was just like playing the guitar, the softest of strums, as he just carved inside of it. Not for the first time today, he has hit a mesmerizing backhand volley to that same area in the court.
He just grazed his knee in the process. That's how low he had to get down to that volley. Some pretty good defense from Medvedev, wasn't it? From the corner, they look like they're still intact. Maybe that gives us an indication of how abrasive the court surface is.
Shout.
Oh, beautiful! He has treated us today to some quite spectacular tennis, and a lot of it from up at the net.
Yeah, he's come in 7 times in this set, Lee, and he's won all 7. Haven't always been routine volleys. He's made them look routine.
So good, so good, and he's played those sorts of points so well too.
It's one of the hardest things to do against world-class opposition, is to play quality point after quality point against them. That's a good hold. So back to the trivia question. 1881 was a logo that featured on which clothing company? And the answer, Lee, is
Cerruti.
That's right. And no connection to the US Open date, even though it's the same. Clothing established in Italy. As, the founders, well, the gentleman who found it, the grandfather who established the company, is Willen Mill. And Italy was founded in 1881. Oh.
Oh, so close. So close to making it another fabulous, fabulous exchange. I thought for a moment, Robbie, he was going to pull off the impossible there.
Oh, how good are these guys? What about the vision from Lajovic here? This shot, using the full diagonal of the court. What did he do there?
I'm not sure about you as well. I was watching the point unfold. I thought it was close. Close to a double bounce. I thought we might get our first video review of the tournament.
I guess Lajovic was in close proximity. He was near the net. Would have had a very good look at it.
Technology available to the players here at the US Open video review for the judgment calls, as they tend to be known in this sport, and that's increased this year from 5 courts to 8 courts this year. We have that technology, so something that Richard Haig talked about at the coin toss, just reminding the players that that's on offer if they need it. Of course, that's been a hot topic of conversation after the the moments of controversy that involved Jack Draper and Felix Auger-Aliassime in Cincinnati.
That forehand was easy on the eye, the way he shaped it. Top spin and side spin, keeping the approach on the same side of the court as him.
Another chance then for Lajovic to, well, perhaps put this set to bed. Chances previous to this to go up the double break. Medvedev survives again.
And these kind of scenarios can be such tipping points within a set. Get the double break, you're almost certain of winning it. If you don't, how often we see a player get broken in the very next service game they have, and then we're back on serve. Darius hoping that's what's going to happen for her man.
Advantage Medvedev.
The good thing for both players is that this court has been in shade for a while already. And despite the physicality of the battle, that would definitely help them both. Of course, another court with a retractable roof here at Flushing Meadows. This was done with the whole construction of Armstrong. It wasn't an add-on like it was on Ash.
Quality defending from Medvedev, who's having to do a lot of
Medvedev.
moving from side to side, but defending brilliantly to an impressive depth whilst doing so.
Lajovic is just half falling some of those. I'll tell you what, it's tough to play against. It is so tiring if you're Medvedev. Ball's coming back at you, no time to... Ooh.
Game. Medvedev.
Well, it's not only survived, isn't it? He's just about been able to keep it to a single break. Lajovic still in control, 4-3.
That shot there, oh, changed the whole dynamic of the point. Can you imagine if he had made that? You can see he's cupped his wrist to play that shot. It's not always Medvedev's forte, dexterity. Another superb volley. Let's have a look at the knot up. Oh, he got there easily, Lee.
Time.
How can that point count the same as a serve and miss return? You can see how much the fans enjoyed it. They've been putting on a great show, haven't they? Once the point goes over, 10 shots should be worth 2. It's amazing when you think of other sports, how many different scenarios there can be in a scoring system, right? You know, we watch cricket, you get a single, a 4, 6. Basketball, you get 2 and 3 pointers. Rugby, it's more for a try than it is for a free kick. Tennis, everyone counts the same. Doesn't matter where you hit the winner from, how many shots the rally lasts.
Oh, nice. Was one step ahead.
15-all.
Knew exactly what he was trying to do here when he hit the backhand. Just took a bit of pace off. Outmaneuvering Lajovic that time.
Foot fault.
Foot fault called. It's the first one I've seen this week. Is it the same for you, Robbie?
Yes.
Just long.
The reason I paused was because I think I had a couple in qualifying week during fan week. The electronic line calling system was in order. If you're wondering how that happens, there's actually a lines person. There's Gilles Simon, who's also part of the Medvedev camp, co-coach.
40-50.
He's an official that sits in a booth that has that camera view, and when the player foot faults, they press a button that makes the foot fault call. So even in what seems like 100% automated environment, there is a little bit of human factor still necessary. Medvedev's done well when he's come in. You have a look at the 10,000 foot view, 11 of 16 for the match as a whole. 16 would sometimes be a whole season for him. Nice to see him being a bit more proactive.
He's getting closer to leveling this match.
Lajovic leads 5-3, second set. Love 15.
impressed with the quality of the ball striking from the back of the court today from Lajovic, particularly the backhand. Time and time again, there's another change of direction. Catching Medvedev off guard.
Crisp as you like.
Out. 15-30.
It's been a regular feature of this second set. Medvedev under pressure on serve. So far, he's been able to just about stay in touch.
Love the way he attacked the angle there on the forehand. He's not only running laterally, but he's running into the court. So whilst the ball's still got momentum, you want to go after it. That'll help you to hit it harder.
As the shot clock just popped up on the score graphic, just to give you an idea of just how long Medvedev had before that ran out. 25 seconds between points. Oh, no way. It's another exceptional strike. This is the sort of return that Medvedev produces.
I mean, are you kidding me? One of the beauties of having the singles nets. Absolute screamer.
Oh, it's just long, so set point slips away.
It's another game where he's had a break point / set point in this instant, but he hasn't made count. Coach will be aware of the pitfalls and possibilities in these kind of situations.
Advantage Lajovic.
Another chance, set point number 2. This time he does convert and celebrates, taking the second set off the number 5 seed. He is causing all sorts. Set apiece.
Love 15.
A couple of other seeds losing today as well. Felix Auger-Aliassime went out to Jakub Mensik, the young Czech player. Tsitsipas is out as well. Lost to Thanasi Kokkinakis from Australia.
Love 30.
Tsitsipas, the number 11 seed, so we've lost the 11th seed in both draws today. Ostapenko seeded 10. Auger-Aliassime the 19th seed. So 1 or 2 surprises today.
Love 40.
This is a good start to this opening game of the third set. And he breaks to love.
First game, third set.
Whatever he was doing during those 5 or 6 minutes off court has worked a treat.
He has given himself a stern talking to in the mirror. Who was that? Speaking to themselves in the mirror. Story.
It was Djokovic, wasn't it?
Was it Novak?
I think so, yeah. The man in the mirror.
Ah. Like Michael Jackson. One of my all-time favourite songs, that, Lee.
Difficult to fool the man in the mirror, isn't it?
It certainly is.
What?
I think there was also
Okay.
a song of a similar name by Human League. Mirror Man, that's what it was.
Ow!
50 love.
This is a huge momentum switch at the start of this third set. 5 points on the bounce to Medvedev.
Ow!
30 love.
Make that 6.
Love.
This has been exceptional. Break to love and threatening to hold to love on the back of that.
Ow!
40, 15. T30. Game, Medvedev. Medvedev leads 2 games to love, third set.
Well, a perfect start for the 5th seed after losing the 2nd set. No panic, he's quickly got back to business.
That was Eric Hernandez, his strength and conditioning trainer, sitting alongside Gilles Savara. Been an integral part of the team as well for a while now, has Eric. Here he is.
Ow!
15 love.
Of course, Gilles is actually qualified in that area. That was one of his main fields of expertise when he was at the Elite Tennis Academy.
Used to play himself as well, didn't he? Tennis player.
Yeah. Lower level, features level.
Yeah.
Ow!
A very good understanding
love.
of the movement and physiology in the game.
Second foot fault of the day. So that's the camera that the review official will be watching.
And it's more understandable behind a 7 volley when a player's trying to get in behind the serve, so you can understand him just trying to sneak forward a bit too soon.
Game, Lajovic.
Yeah, just tell by the reaction, pleased to get through that game. And such an impressive stadium. Bit of everything going on when you're playing on this court. You've got to try and stay focused. It's a big court, so it's relatively noisy. This lower bowl is pretty close to the court, so it's pretty intimate down at the bottom. Huge crowd up at the top. Lower bowl is 6,400. That's ticketed, and then that top tier is open to fans that have a grounds pass. So it's a good number that can come in and add to the atmosphere if matches start getting interesting and particularly tight. Look at that crowd up there. And then sort of midway between the two tiers, you've got quite a few drinks and food outlets, haven't you? So you've got a lot going on around there. You've got the railroad just behind, the Met Stadium beyond that, the planes coming in from LaGuardia. It's vintage New York.
Yes.
The sights and sounds and smells of the US Open.
Yeah, we like vintage, don't we?
Medvedev leads 3-1, third set.
So a bit of breathing space for Daniil. Quick reminder to stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and WhatsApp this year. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open. Pleased with the way he's started this set. Those two look pretty good. One of the ice cream outlets around the grounds.
Out.
15 love.
I'm sure Kevin Curran won't mind me bringing up the fact that he had some strong words to say about playing in this city, did Kev? And of course, this used to be the center court, right? Let's not forget that. He said, I don't like this city. The noise, the people. People in the grandstand, they're never seated. Takes an hour and a half in traffic to get here.
It's an interesting point you raised, though, because you often hear players sort of referring that either it's a good fit for their personalities or perhaps not such a good fit.
Yep.
Was this after a defeat that he was...
Oh, yeah, heat of the moment, right.
14-15.
The funny part of that was that they still had to come out and play doubles. He was playing with Johan Creek. That's beautiful. And when they came to the practice court the next day, Johan Creek had a big I love New York
If you're inside the stadium now enjoying this one, it's just cooled off a touch. It is a beautiful temperature in the evenings in this part of the world. Once the heat of the day has disappeared, still fairly warm, around 27, 26, 27 degrees Celsius.
Out.
15 all.
Out.
30-15.
Out.
40-15. Last first serve.
Closing volley
Game. Medvedev.
into the net quickly.
Medvedev leads 4 games to 2, third set.
Yeah, that's when you're using your athleticism in an offensive manner. You want to get that ball before it drops below the heart of the net. That's exactly the urgency it was all about. Good stuff from Daniil. Calm as you like. No panic on the smash. Someone who's very confident overhead.
Lajovic is turning this set just to stay in touch and hope that he can create chances. He certainly did so in the second set on Medvedev's serve. Keep it tight at this stage. That's all he can do.
Out.
30-15.
Made the last 16 a couple of times at the majors, Australia and in Paris.
Out.
40-15.
2021 he made the 4th round in Melbourne. Actually, 10 years ago that he made the last 16 in Paris, 2014. Third round here, his best effort 6 years ago.
Medvedev leads 4 games to 3.
Successfully negotiates another service game. So not too far away from opening up a 2-1 lead. Just needs to focus on a couple more service games. He's got the new balls to help him.
Lee, I love how when he's a little uncomfortable in the rally on a particular shot, Medvedev just resets the point by going up the middle, just looks for length. I'm going to get this ball in play. Then I'm going to find my feet again.
How much of an improvement so far, Robbie, has this been compared to that match you watched him play against Lajovic in Cincinnati?
Oh, significant. Significant. Probably give him a 6.7 out of 10 against Yuri, but this is much better quality.
It will have been a good test, won't it, if he does win this match. Lajovic has played well.
40-15. Medvedev leads 5 games to 3. Third set.
He's had a much easier time of it on serve in this third set compared to the problems of the second set when he was facing break points on a regular basis. He was working his way back from deficits in service games.
I'm going to give his performance today so far maybe a 7.9, touching on an 8.
Oh, that's a clever little shot. Got the shovel out there.
Yeah. Big uptick in the Medvedev serve, certainly in the opening set. Dropped off a bit in the second. First serve percentage is down for him in the third, but the effectiveness of the serve has been good. Anytime you're converting well on the break points, that's a big help.
It was a big hit.
Come on.
30-15.
Perfectly executed backhand volley. Not for the first time either today.
Closing in on this third set. This is Daniil's wife. Oh. Well, he made that look easy. It wasn't. Beautiful composure as he struck that forehand pass.
30-14.
Yeah, he's got all the angles and answers at the moment, has Daniil. It's the movement that buys him the time to hit that shot. And when these guys have got a fraction more time on the ball, they will make you pay.
Set point. And that wraps up the third set. Daniil Medvedev, the number 5 seed, back in control of this one. It hasn't been easy today,
Medvedev leads 2-1.
but he struck early in that third.
Lajovic.
Again, as is the case at the start of the second set, it's all eyes on Lajovic, really, having lost that set. See whether it knocks his confidence too badly. How willing he is to get back down to hard work.
Out.
15-all.
Because the challenge the Serb now has, he's got to produce one of the wins of his career to get past Medvedev in 5 sets. That's the size of the challenge.
Out.
30-15.
Out.
30-all.
He's played a couple of good points to get himself back to 30-all in this opening game. Half a chance here.
Juice. Advantage, Medvedev. Medvedev.
Bit of noise from
First
Daniil
game, fourth set.
en route to wrapping up that opening service game. Don't see that too often.
Yeah, understands the importance of the early stage of this set. Check it out here.
Medvedev.
Love it.
First game,
Whatever it
fourth set.
takes.
Enjoyed your summary of the early stages of the third set, Robbie. It was interesting, that passage of play, wasn't it? Because I think maybe as a casual tennis fan, we're always looking at the live scores, aren't we? Sort of
Yes,
trying to see,
yes.
where's the upset coming, who's in trouble these early days of a major. Set all, you're thinking, ooh, you're getting interested in there. But as soon as Medvedev breaks early in the third,
Yep.
it feels like a different match, doesn't it?
And especially given how well Lajovic played in that second set.
Yeah. Some company there.
Yeah. It's Medvedev is buzzing now. Up 2 sets to 1.
And as you said, that turnaround came pretty much in 7 or 8 points, didn't it? Straight off the bat.
Love 15.
And it's a double whammy, isn't it, for Lajovic? Because all of a sudden Medvedev's feeling better about his chances, and Lajovic is
Yes.
he's taken a hit. Fascinating sport in that regard. How quickly it can change. It's exceptional length. Getting those balls back to within a foot or so of Lajovic's baseline.
Love 14.
Uh-oh. Is Medvedev gonna do it to him again, Lee?
Good conversion rate today.
Out.
15-14.
Just missed.
30-40.
So 2 chances escape Medvedev. 1 more. And if he can break early again, as he did at the start of the third set, then he would be the red-hot favourite to come through this in 4 sets.
Lajovic can't find a first serve in this opening game.
Yet more quality ball striking. This time it's Lajovic who breaks down. Medvedev breaks. And it is indeed a carbon copy of the opening stages of the third set. Again, he struck early.
It's just mesmerizing when he goes into lockdown mode. We so often use that phrase with Novak, but Medvedev's got his own version of that. And we saw it there in living color. He couples good length with good movement. He can defend, attack prudently.
It's been easy today for Medvedev, but I think if he can come away with a 4-set victory against a player who, let's face it, he's played well today, hasn't he, Lajovic? Plenty of good tennis, good variety. He's been solid from the back, some great net skills. And I think Medvedev will be pleased, particularly given his summer so far.
Yep.
15-all.
Richard Haig looking as confused as anybody regarding that conversation.
30-15.
Quite sure what the subject matter was. Brief exchange. It's been good mentally today as well, Medvedev.
Absolutely.
One of the balls he's got an issue with.
Double faults are a little bit of a concern. Double digits now. Ball toss just gets too far in front of him. Collapses, goes into the net.
Out.
40-30.
And we saw that early stages of the third set as well. A couple of big shouts at himself just to not get complacent, stay on top of things. Just taking a bit of time here. I like this, Lee. Needs a first serve.
Just yet. Looking for his first victory since the Paris Olympics on the clay. After early defeats in Canada and Cincinnati.
Advantage, Lajovic.
Out.
Juice.
Quickly averts danger. He's done pretty well when he's been facing breakpoints today. 6 of 8 he's saved.
Out.
Advantage, Medvedev.
Yeah, that'll frustrate Dusan. He's had so much time to prepare for that backhand. Such a crucial juncture of the set. Can't be missing it. Standing wide for the second serve now. Here's the serve.
Game.
It's a beautiful combination, and it's another good start to a set from Daniil Medvedev. Pretty quickly into a 3-0 lead.
Well, he taunted him with his return position here out wide. He's leaving himself exposed on the forehand wing if the return wasn't top tier. It was okay. Medvedev's decided early on, I'm going to take this on. And he's trusting his beloved backhand. You can see how wide his hands are apart. And that will be a confidence-infusing backhand. He knows he's oh so close now to the finishing line. Of course, the only way to get there is 1 point at a time. There's no bonus points in the sport. You've got to be a good plodder. And the very best players are. They're such good front runners. Once they get their noses out in front, they tend to keep it there.
All the twos on the match clock, 2 hours and 22. It's been entertaining, this one. Lajovic has played his part. Very impressed with the level of his tennis at times, given he's 66 in the world these days. Played well above that, hasn't he, at times?
Especially given the surface. I think it's important that we factor in that criteria. When you see how much better he's performed on the clay this year, just to give you an idea, matches won on clay at tour level this year for Lajovic, 13. On a hard court, just 3. One of those was against a Mexican wildcard ranked 700, so you would expect him to get the better of Rodrigo Pacheco Mendes.
Well, this is starting to run away from him. How significant that third set was, and particularly those early stages that we were discussing. Medvedev winning the opening 7 points of the third set, having dropped the second.
Out.
13-14. Juice.
Both coaches in attendance, Gilles Savara and Gilles Simon.
And it's one of his best today.
Oh, this return burned through the air. melted into his strings.
Another break.
4 games to love, 4th set.
And that should be enough now for the world number 5, the 5th seed here in New York. After what has been a tough assignment on the whole. Tough first match for him. USOpenshop.org is the official shop for 2024 US Open merchandise. Get your game face on and your game fit on, Robbie Koenig.
Always on.
Exactly. US Open gear and accessories available there.
Out.
15 love.
I think Jose Perlas wanted Dusan Lajovic to keep his game face on there.
Yes.
The exchange, wasn't it? Pointing at his heart. Come on. Let's dig in here.
Fifteen all.
Starting to relax now.
Yeah, when he starts to hit drop shots like this, you know, the confidence is coursing through the veins.
Game. Medvedev.
And he is racing
Medvedev
towards the finish line now.
4 sets.
Medvedev just a game away from a spot in the second round here. Where do you see Medvedev overall in terms of, you know, the sorts of names that we're considering to lead with the trophy in a couple of weeks' time? I guess he's made life a little bit more awkward for himself because he's just dropped outside the top 4, so he's going to run into probably Sinner in the quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's got to be right up there, but you know, there's a couple of questions as well. Obviously, everything that's Sinner's had to go through of late. Alcaraz has had a couple of injury scares. You know, how's he holding up? It just seems like all of the top players have had a little bit of something. Let's call it baggage, if you will. Djokovic hasn't won a major this year, but played well on clay. I did his match yesterday evening. He wasn't particularly convincing, was Novak. Daniil comes in here off the back of 2 first match losses in Canada and Cincy. So I feel like there's a few openings there for any one of those 4 players. And perhaps that might lead to a bit more belief in the locker room that these guys are beatable. I'll have to wait and see.
15 love.
Medvedev's passage has cleared a touch today, in theory at least. 2 of those seeds that we've lost today, both in Medvedev's sections. Off the draw sits past Sanoje Aliassime. So projected to play Flavio Cobolli, the Italian, who is the number 31 seed in the 3rd round. And it would be an unseeded player. in the last 16, given that Tsitsipas and Auger-Aliassime has seen both lost to Kokkinakis and Jakub Mensik, respectively. Alejandro Tabilo going out in the first round today as well. Lost to Gauff. That's a good win for the Belgian.
A massive fan of the way Goffin plays the game.
Oh, very nice.
Lajovic. Medvedev 5-1, fourth set.
He's got some skills, this guy. But he has a mountain to climb. Medvedev will serve for victory, 5-1.
Love 15. Last second serve. Out. 15 all.
Could be another serve that Medvedev faces in the second round. That match between Fabio Marozsan and Hamid Medvedev, a young Serb, very talented young Serb, who came through qualifying last week. Just underway on court 14. Medvedev up 5-2 first set. Two chances to wrap it up. I think he tried to finish it in style there with a big second serve. 119 miles an hour. One more chance. Disturbance to his left. He's good to go. Match point number 2. He's made it. Thought he pulled it wide for a second, but just caught the line, and the 2021 champion goes through in 4 sets. Some brilliant tennis on display from both, particularly in the early stages. Medvedev will be pleased to come through that, particularly after his form during recent weeks on the North American hard courts. Did well to pull away towards the end of that 4-set victory. Goes through 6-3, 3-6, 6-3, 6-1.